everyone, iOS 16 has officially came out, so let's go and take a look at it on the iPhone 8 Plus and basically see if you should go ahead and install it. Now, for one, I will say this update was about 5 gigabytes, 5.2 coming from the iPhone on iOS 15 on average. So if you're planning on updating, make sure you have that much storage saved on your iPhone 8 Plus before you actually go and update. Now, I will also say that I would probably recommend not updating right now, but we'll get into that in a second. One of the biggest changes within iOS 16, though, is with the lock screen. So now we have some of our notifications coming off at the bottom. We have live notifications too that can update by themselves, which is awesome. But also, if you hold down on the lock screen, you will get into this panel, which will actually go ahead and allow you to customize your specific lock screens. So now you can go ahead and add a display or add a lock screen if you want to. So you can go and click the plus button here, add a new lock screen, you can add a new widget, and you can also add widgets to your specific lock screen, which this in and of itself is awesome, and I'm really happy Apple actually ended up doing this. So now what you can do is you can add any sorts of widgets that you want to, and from here, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want to, and I'm really happy to see this. And that is probably one of the biggest changes within iOS 16. Unlocking your phone, the home screens and everything look almost identically the same. There isn't really that big of a difference here. However, we do now have the ability of connecting our Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and our Nintendo Switch Pro controller to our iPhone 8 Plus on iOS 16. So if you're planning on playing any of these big games like Genshin Impact or whatever, and they support that controller, I don't even know if they'll support it, that is actually a really cool thing you can now have within iOS 16 that we didn't have before. Now, on our iPhones with notches like the iPhone 13s and whatnot, we have the ability of seeing our battery percentage in our status bar. The iPhone 8 Plus could do this since its inception, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it is another cool thing we have within our iPhones. Now, we also have the ability of unsending, undoing, and even unreading iMessages that we sent within iMessage. And in my opinion, this application got the biggest change. So now let's say we went ahead and sent this iMessage. I guess we can't send it. Let's say we sent it anyway. What we can do now is we can hold down on these messages and we can now undo sent messages. We can now edit sent messages as well. And we can even unread them, which that in and of itself is crazy. And in my opinion, that is probably one of the biggest changes within iOS 16. And I think that is probably going to be the main reason why many people are going to end up probably breaking their phones to update to iOS 16. Now, we also have the ability on some iPhones to use our back camera on our iPhones as a webcam. I don't know if the iPhone 8 Plus is supported, but that is a cool feature that's within iOS 16 and macOS Ventura. Now, battery life wise, I didn't really get that great of battery life on my iPhone 8 Plus. I didn't test it as much as my other iPhones. I've only done like 2 battery comparisons with this one, but both times it really wasn't that great coming from iOS 15. I will test it a little bit further, but what I will say is with the last 2 betas on average, all my iPhones got much better battery life about the last 2 betas, especially even with the release candidate, and then the first 3 betas, and that's kind of what I was testing this one on. So I will give the iPhone 8 Plus a little bit of credit there. But now the question is, should you install iOS 16 on your iPhone 8 Plus? And I will tell you, in my opinion, I would not recommend installing iOS 16 on your iPhone 8 Plus just yet. I would recommend waiting out maybe until iOS 16.0.3 or 16.0.2. At the very least, wait until the next update of iOS 16. If you can wait out until the next update, that will make the most amount of sense to me. There's really no reason of installing it right now, just because there's going to be issues, there's going to be bugs, it's not going to be that stable version of a software, and you're going to be in a much better situation if you can just go ahead and wait out until it officially comes out in like 16.0.2, and then pretty much go on from there. So that's kind of what I would recommend you guys to do. But if you're going to update anyway, make sure you do a backup and go from there. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.